Hari Om and Jai Gurudev. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Chaiva Tato Jayamudirayet. Yeah, Jai Gurudev. Let's recapitulate the Tattva bodha. So the Panchikaranam is clear for everyone, no? Does anybody have any doubts about that?
Hariom, there is no doubt, but just observation. Of course, it is not in our um, matter of discussion, but devas also will be going through this panchikaranam. I mean, their bodies also will be made up of these 5 elements, or it will be different.
That I don't know. Because if you remember in the Vishwarupa Sandarshana Yoga, I think there if I remember right, it is only the human beings from the earth that are being churned and getting stuck in the teeth, damshtra karala nichate mukhani, all that. Whereas devas were not subject to that. So probably that they're not part of this. Probably.
Yeah.
But
They must be gunatit, right? They must be
correct.
Maya may not be influencing. Yeah,
So
okay.
maybe you should check this out. We can ask this. So we'll quickly run through this evolution of the tamasic aspect. Etesham panchatattvanam tamasamshat panchikrita panchatatvani bhavanti. Panchikaranam kathamiti chet etesham panchamahabhutanam tamasamsha swarupam ekamekam dvidha vibhajya एकमेकमर्धं पृथक् तूष्णीं व्यवस्थाप्य अपरमपरमर्धं चतुर्धां विभज्य स्वार्धमन्येषु अर्धेषु स्वभागचतुष्टयसंयोजनं कार्यं तदा पञ्चीकरणं भवति. एतेभ्यः पञ्चीकृतपञ्चमहाभूतेभ्यः स्थूलशरीरं भवति. एवं पिण्डब्रह्माण्डयोरैक्यं सम्भूतम्. So this we saw yesterday, but Nana explained in detail about the Panchikaranam. Each of the 5 elements has a tendency to divide into 2. So when that divides, the one half remains the same, and the other half divides into 4 equal parts. So this one half combines with 1/8 portion of the remaining 5 elements and forms the manifest gross space, gross air, gross fire, water, and earth. And space the subtler the element, the more pervasive it is. Space has the quality of sound. The air has the quality of both sound and touch. Fire is the first element where form is also included. So it has the quality of both sound and touch as well as form. Water adds on the element or the quality of taste. And finally, Prithvi has also the element, the quality of smell. I think in the Kathopanishad, if I remember, I think from what little I remember, when the body leaves the body, the deha, when a person dies, it is the sound that first, uh, I think, leaves. Ultimately, it is the smell that is the last thing to go. That is why for those 10 days, they continue to feed the soul that left. Then, anyone wants to share anything in this? Any questions in the Panchikarana? This is only the Tamasamsha aspect. The gross world as we see is a result of the Tamasamsha, Tamasa aspect of the Panchamahabhutas. Whereas the Sattvic and the Rajasic aspects of Panchamahabhutas are subtle. We cannot really perceive them. Like you cannot perceive your intellect, your they're very subtle. They're not gross. Same with the Rajasamsha. The the Samishti Rajasamsha brings in the elements, the aspects of the five pranas. So they are very subtle to perceive. Whereas the gross world that we see is the result of the Tamasamsha. And this is the link. Evam Pinda Brahmandayo Raikyam Sambhutam. So this is the connect between the micro and the macrocosm. Ishvara and the Adhishtana Devatas, Jiva and Ishvara. Sthula Sharirabhimani, Jiva Namakam, Brahma Pratibimbam Bhavati. Sa eva Jivaha Prakritya Swasmat Ishwaram Bhinnatvena Janat. Avidyopadhihi san Atma Jiva iti uchyate. Mayopadhihi san Ishvara iti uchyate. Evam Upadhi Bhedat Jiveshwara Bheda Drishtihi Yavat Paryantam Tishtati Tavat Paryantam Janma Maranadi Rupa Samsaro Na Nivartate. Tasmat Karanat Na Jiveshwarayor Bheda Buddhihi Swikarya. So the Stula Sharira Abhimani, the person who identifies himself with the Stula Sharira, he is the Jiva. He becomes a Pratibimbam of Brahma, the reflection of Brahma. Saeva Jivaha Prakritya Swasmat Ishwaram Bhinnatvena Janat. Because of his nature, which is born of ignorance, he considers himself separate from Ishvara. Avidyopadhihi san Atma Jiva iti uchyate. So the Atma, which is enveloped by the ignorance, is called Jiva. Whereas Mayopadhihi san Ishvara iti uchyate. And the uh, sum total of all the ignorance, which is Maya, that Mayopadihi san Ishwara iti uchyate. Here, actually, I had a little doubt, which I was wanting to ask Nana. Ishvara is according to this statement, it says Mayopadihi san Ishvara iti uchyate. So Ishvara is it's actually Maya is born of Ishvara, isn't it? But here, I think the statement says it differently. Can anyone throw light on that? Let me get.
You are correct, Brahmaji. He said Brahma created Ishvara, and Ishvara is total sum of Maya. He creates the Maya again. But Brahma creates Maya, but he is not Maya. Only
Right.
Ishvara is Maya.
Right.
Brahma is not Maya. He creates Maya, but and that is Ishvara.
Correct.
And then Ishvara creates all that Maya.
So that is why the next statement that comes in is Evam Upadi Bhedat Jiveshwara Bheda Drishti Yavat Paryantam Tishtati. So as long as we have this distinction that I am Jiva and Ishvara is different from me, we will continue to get tossed and turned in this samsara. Tasmat Karanat Na Jiveshwarayor Veda Buddhihi Swikarya. So that Na Swikarya should come there. So therefore, you should not separate yourself or see yourself separate from Ishvara. The Jiva Ishvara Veda Drishtihi Na Swikarya. You should not see them as separate.
Can you say that again? I don't know. Somebody was saying something like, I didn't get that part. Oh.
See, we have Brahmashraya Maya. That is one, right? So
right. Brahma wields that creative
ability.
Of this, that's a Maya.
From there, Maya.
With the truth, that's called Ishvara.
Correct. So, Mayopadihi san Ishvara iti uchyate. So, the Ishvara is the sum total of the whole Maya, of the whole avidya. Sum total of all the avidya is Maya. And from there, you have this Ishvara. Maybe we could call that Prakriti. I'm not sure whether this Ishvara can be.
Ishvara is like the Brahman with the conditioning of Maya.
Correct.
So, so whereas the real Brahman is no, I mean,
direct of Maya.
No Maya. I mean, he creates it, but Maya depends on Brahma, but then Brahman does not depend on this Maya. That's a thing. But then the Ishvara is so that's where I had a little confused with that.
So that's the example.
Actually, Nanaji said that actually Ishvara is Maya Atita, but the difference between Ishvara and Brahma is only that Maya is under the control of Ishvara, but Brahma does not use Maya. It is Ishvara who uses Maya and just creates this world. Brahma does not use Maya. This is the difference between Ishvara and Brahma.
But still the Brahman is the whole control, he creates and he governs, sustains and destroys, and everything is Brahman. But then Ishvara controls the world, that's the part of Ishvara. So he's not the.
He gave the example of the sun and the clouds. The clouds are dependent on the sun, isn't it? In order to form the clouds, you require the heat of the sun.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. So cloud is not, but
But the
sun
sun
is.
continues to be.
Yeah. Mm.
Whereas sun is not, cloud is not. If there is no sun, there is no cloud. But when there is no cloud, it does not mean there is no sun. The
Yeah.
sun continues to be there. So that is how Brahma exists in spite of the Jagat, in spite of Maya.
Mhm.
Whereas um,
So that the thing you read, what does it say in that one? I'm sorry. The one you
the
were
Evam
saying.
Upadi Vedat.
Mm-hmm. Let me
So
open.
because of this Upadi, because of this difference in the Upadi, we have this Jiveshwara Bheda Drishti. We have this difference between the Jiva and the Ishvara.
Hmm.
And as long as this exists, then till then our samsara will continue. Janma Marana will continue. Tasmat Karanat, therefore, because of that, na Jiveshwarayor Veda Buddhihi Swikarya. So you should not accept the difference between Jiva and Ishvara. They are the same. See, the individual Jiva is enveloped by ignorance, that limited ignorance. Whereas Ishvara is as though limited by the complete Maya. But when you remove the Upadi, which is Maya and Avidya, both are the same. They are the same. They are nothing different. The Jiva, Ishvara, Brahma, they all merge. They become the same, isn't it? It is only the Upadi, it is only that conditioning
Yeah, that's
that,
right. Okay.
that is
Okay.
what is separating, giving that apparent separation.
So basically, the Maya is the one covering everything.
Yeah,
So that if you remove that,
correct.
then we all the same, like
We are
Jiva,
the
Ishvara, and
same.
Brahman, everything same.
They're the same.
Mm-hmm.
That is why we come to that Tattva Masi now.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nanu sahankarasya kinchigyasya जीवस्य निरहंकारस्य सर्वज्ञस्य ईश्वरस्य तत्त्वमसीति महावाक्यात् कथमभेदबुद्धिः स्याद् उभयोः विरुद्धधर्मात् धर्माक्रान्तत्वात् इति चेत् न स्थूलसूक्ष्मशरीराभिमानी त्वं पद वाच्यार्थः उपाधि विनिर्मुक्तं समाधि दशा संपन्नं शुद्धं चैतन्यं त्वं पद लक्ष्यार्थः. Then एवं सर्वज्ञत्वात् विविशिष्ट सर्वज्ञत्वात् एवं सर्वज्ञत्वादिविशिष्ट ईश्वरः तत्पद वाच्यार्थः उपाधिशून्यं शुद्ध चैतन्यं तत्पद लक्ष्यार्थः. एवं च जीवेश्वरयोः चैतन्य रूपेण अभेदे bhadaka bhavaha. So we're going back to this, it's a big paragraph. Nanu sahankarasya kinchigyasya jivasya. So the jiva thinks he is sahankari. He is this limited body. I am whatever. I am my name, I am my body, I am my mind. Kinchigyasya. I am limited. Jivasya nirahankarasya sarvajyasya ishwarasya. So the Ishvara who is nirahankara, who does not have the ego, bereft of the ego, and is all-knowing, sarvajnasya, tattvamasiti mahavakyat. from the Mahavakya, which is Tattvamasi. Katama Bheda Buddhihi Syad Ubhayoho Viruddha Dharma Krantatvat. So it seems that they are Viruddha Dharma. They have different qualities. One is limited in time and space, and the other is unlimited and is all pervading, all knowing. Whereas the jiva is alpajnaha, has limited knowledge. Katama Veda Buddhihi Syad Ubhayo. So how does this uh, they have Viruddha Dharma. How are they the same? Katama Veda Buddhihi Syad Ubhayoho. Iti chet, such is the case, then Stula Sukshma Sharirabhimani Tvam Pada Vachyartaha. So then the doubt that the student has, the teacher is explaining that there is an apparent meaning and a literal meaning. So the Vachyartaha is the apparent meaning. Stula Sukshma Sharirabhimani Tvam Pada Vachyartaha. So the jiva who thinks that he is the Stula Sukshma Sharirabhimani, that is the apparent meaning of Tvam. The word Tvam. Tvam Pada Vachyartaha. Whereas Upadi Vinirmuktam Samadhi Dasha Sampannam Shuddham Chaitanyam Tvam Pada Lakshyartaha. But the literal meaning of Tvam is Upadi Vinirmuktam. So the one that is free from the Upadi, that free from that ignorance, Samadhi Dasha Sampannam. So of all the four avasthas, which is Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti and Turiya Avastha, Samadhi Dasha Sampannam, the one that is in that Turiya Avastha, that witness consciousness, Shuddham Chaitanyam, that pure consciousness, that is the actual meaning, literal meaning of Tvam Pada Lakshat, of the Tvam. So it's a beautiful equation here that Shankaracharya is giving. The apparent meaning of Tvam versus the literal meaning of Tvam. Right? Evam sarvajnatvat vivishishta ishvaraha tatpada vachyartaha. So the apparent meaning of Tvam, no, tatpada vachyartaha is the sarvajnaha, that is Ishvara, whereas upadi shunyam shuddha chaitanyam tatpada lakshyartaha. Whereas devoid of this upadi, that Maya, the shuddham chaitanyam, the absolute pure consciousness, that is the tatpada lakshyartaha, the literal meaning of tat. So when you look at this equation, tat on one side and tvam on the other side, both are literal meanings are nothing but Shuddha Chaitanya. So that equates, when you equate these, then Jiva and Ishvara are nothing but the Chaitanya Rupa. So evam cha jivesh.
When you're free from all the ubadis, right?
Yeah.
That's
Free
okay.
from the upadi.
So the Maya is, what is it, what does it do in terms of those, actually that's a conditioning, right?
That is the most important aspect, no? The whole thing is to understand Maya. The moment you understand, that is what jnana is so important. The moment
Maya is like something, is it out there, but then it's kind of make us depend on this world, like all the, is that the desires and the, what do you call that, I'm trying to figure out. I mean,
It is,
what
it is
does
that
Maya
which,
do?
yeah, it is that which makes us feel bound. It makes us feel small and limited, caught up in our
Oh,
own small mind, when
okay.
actually we are free. We are free, we are liberated. All that it requires is to understand that if you recollect the introduction to the Gita home study,
Mhm.
Swamiji was mentioning the problem is you, the solution is also you. The
Right.
problem is we think we are limited, we think we are inadequate.
Mhm.
That
That's why
is
we
the,
get the security and all that stuff,
yeah,
right? At the
we
karma.
get caught up in
Mm.
our limited, we see ourselves separate from everybody else.
Mm.
So the
So
moment
that.
we
Mhm.
understand this Maya, it will disappear. It is like the mirage, no? As long as you see the mirage on the desert road, on the desert sands, you you think it is true, it is water, and you keep, um, you get caught up in that thing that it is, oh, it is water, I can quench my thirst. But the moment you reach there, there is no water, no mirage.
Yeah. That's what like when you're trying to do it in practice, that is where, like, how do we do this? So, anything that the whole day, and Nana kept saying like this karma anushtana, karma anushtana. So every action that we are doing, we have to, um, sorry, uh,
Karma yoga anushtana. Yeah, that is what.
mhm.
That is our preparation for knowledge to dawn, is we need to polish our antahkarna. And Bela's question was very nicely put up in that the Satvika, although the Samishti Satvikamshat, you have the antahkarna, it is not clean antahkarna, it is Malina Sattva. It has its own impurities because
So I didn't get the question. I kind of joined a little later. What was the question? Sorry.
Bela, you're there?
Yes, Brahmaraji.
Huh.
Uh,
Yeah, I think the question, my question was like when we are made up of the five elements, sattvic aspect, then why still our antakaran is taking so long to realize that we are Sat Chit Ananda? I mean, the whole lifetime, so many lifetimes sometimes. But now it
mhm.
is so clear, no? Like even the example of that when the guru is asking the disciple to bring the water from the nearby pond, then it was completely muddy, and he came back, and then the guru said that you go after some time when it is settled. And then when he went after some time, the water was clean. So I think that is with our mind also, like it is malign because of the other aspects of those elements also. So we need to clear that muddy water, and then our antakaran is that shuddha only.
Mm, yeah. Okay. I wish we could just wash it off, right?
Ah,
That would be easy to do. But then this is to figure it out. Mm.
Yeah, but that assurance is so well described here, Guru's grace, no? If it is the grace of the Guru, you can definitely have that easy.
Yeah, but then you have to work with the Guru so hard for him to provide you that grace, right? You won't get grace easily either from the God. I mean, from the Guru. But what I like to, I mean, the way I'm saying it is, it's a whole lot of things to understand and go through this one. I
It
was
seems difficult,
mhm.
but at the same time, like what Gurudev says, it is also very easy. All you have to do is just relax and let go and just become innocent. The problem is we are so stuck up in our mind, we are stuck up in our concepts, in our, ignorance and that ego, which we find so difficult to let go. So it seems difficult, yes, no doubt. But at the same time, all it requires is for us to relax and let go. And in the ashram, someone had asked this question, where you know that the world is unreal and the Atma is real, is what is the truth. But how do we go about living in this unreal world? And how do we live with this truth at the back? How do we experience that truth? For that, Gurudev had said, you must keep telling yourself this repeatedly, that the world is unreal. And that repeated, um, um, when you keep repeating this, then there comes a time when it becomes your experience, it comes to your experience. So at least the first step that we can take is is to walk lightly on this earth, rather than, give too much importance to um, events, situations, and get stuck in our concepts and judgments of people. If we can relax there, if we can let loose our grip, then the grip that the world has on us will kind of loosen out. And I think it will help us become freer and freer. So instead of getting stuck with stula sukshma sharira bhimani tvam pada vachyartaha, instead of getting stuck with that apparent meaning of tvam, we will be closer to that upadhi vinir muktaha samadhi dasha sampannam. We'll be closer to that witness consciousness, which is Shuddham Chaitanyam. So the more and more we are in that witness space, witness consciousness, then we are closer to that Tvam Pada Lakshyartaha, the literal meaning of Tvam. The more we are in that space, then automatically I think we will we'll equate ourselves with Ishvara. Then that Tvam Asi would become an experience.
Mhm. Yeah,
Anybody
good.
wants to add on, share on?
Jai Gurudev. Yeah, the feature, like the same thing, abhyasa and vairagya, it keeps coming again and again. What I noticed, that the dispassion, when you will have the dispassion, then you will feel that this world is unreal, and continuing your practices, all your uh, this adhyatmic practices which we do, it will clean our inner antakarna, and by having the vairagya, the dispassion, it will it will shift your mind so that you feel that this world is unreal. So it keeps on repeating this abhyasa and vairagya. I find it keeps on repeating every time a new text is coming. It culminates into that only. I felt this way.
I think Nana ji also talked about the karma yoga, means karma, and he said the Brahmarpanam, Brahma Havi. Then he talked about that also. In the Bhagavad Gita, again and again, the karma part is coming. So we have to clean our mind doing the karma yoga also.
Yeah, so that again, the all these like your meditations, your seva, your gaining knowledge through these, doing yagya, doing homas, all these, they are all the part of karma yoga only, with attitude of the arpanam bhav, like uh, uh, you do the with the samarpan bhav, that you are not the doer. Like all, it's a like a just a web of everything.
And over here, the 5 knowledge points that we learn in the happiness course are so would help us live the life of karma yoga, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where your opposite values are complementary. You're not getting stuck with joys and sorrows. So there is automatically that element of tapas that comes in there. Titiksha comes in there. And then you're uh, you're not seeing an intention behind others' mistakes. So you're relieving, there is that cleansing of the antakarna that is happening automatically when we follow these 5 points.
And he said about, see the example he has given, if I call Brahmara, only Brahmara will, yeah, she will get the response. Why? Because there is ahankar. So he said, what is antakarna comprises of that 3 mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. So all this has to be subsided. Then only you will realize who you are. Then that tvam will be realized.
That is why the sense of belongingness, I belong to you, that beautiful term, when you feel belong to everyone, you are part of, like, I'm part of Sarala, I'm part of Bela, I'm part of Dr. Mara. Then there is, you feel that oneness. There is no separateness. Separateness comes in when that ego comes in, when you don't feel belong, when you feel separate. Whereas when you feel belonged to everyone, you feel belong to the whole world, to the whole universe. So that, what was that? I think this Jivan Mukta, it comes in here.
In Spandakarika, Brahmaraji, in Spandakarika, somewhere I have heard Gurudev has said there are so many bulbs and the same electricity is going, but the
Correct.
different bulbs are, some are yellow, some blue, like that.
Correct.
But they are connected to only one thing, and there is only one thing in them.
Correct.
But who realizes that?
Even the fear aspect is gone when you when you feel that belongingness, whether it is a human being or anything around you. When you feel belong to those all things, that fear is also not there. That fear is gone, as Swamiji had mentioned in earlier text.
Yeah. Fear comes in only when there is the other. When the concept of the other is there. That's why even Arjuna, when he saw the Vishwarupa Sandarshana, when he saw the Vishwarupa of Bhagwan, he was fearful because he saw himself separate from that. He did not see himself part of it. So that as long as that other concept is there, you have fear. But when when you do not see that separateness, then there is no fear. When you see everybody as part of you, where is that being a football of others' opinion, and where is stage fright? Nothing. You feel part of the whole group over there. So that's how children are, isn't it? They do not have this separateness. That ego is not there for them. That is why they behave the way they are. They're able to so easily put up a tantrum in the, say, supermarket, or they're so natural because they don't have the concept of ego at all. So the moment we have this ego coming up, you have the separateness. And the small ego merging with the large ego, that belongingness, when that happens, small mind merging with the big mind, then there is oneness, that feeling of, then this Brahmarpanam, Brahma Havihi, everything is Brahma. There's nothing separate from Brahma.
Yeah, that was really nice. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. So we understood this lakshartha and vachyartha, right? The literal meaning and the apparent meaning. So therefore, evam cha jiveshwarayoho chaitanya rupena abheda abhede bhadaka bhava. So the tattvam asi is actually the literal meaning, not the apparent meaning of tvam and tat. Evam cha vedanta vakyaihi sadgurupadeshena cha sarveshvapi bhuteshu esham brahma buddhirutpanna te jivan muktaha ityarthaha. So with the Vedanta Vakyaihi and with the Upadesha of Sadguru, the one that is the person who's an enlightened master, cha sarveshvapi bhuteshu esham brahma buddhi rutpanna. So amongst all, everybody, everything, including movable, immovable, sentient, insentient, all aspects you'll see only Brahma buddhi. That it sure what sprouts up, that Brahma buddhi rutpanna te jivan muktaha ityartaha. So that person, that jiva in whom this happens, he is called a jivan muktaha. I think this one we'll do it tomorrow. Nanu jivan muktaha kaha. Anybody else wants to share?
Yeah, last time Percy ji very well he had concluded very well concluded on the group as well as even in the Manana session, that we have to live through these all principles and it will be very beautiful life. Only that we have to do, put it into practice.
Mm.
I have one doubt. Like the process of Panchikarna, the grossification of this 5 elements, does it is it related to the like it is related to the Prakriti, like you have the these 3 Prakritis you have, the Kaf, the
You mean the doshas?
yeah, with the pitta, is it somehow related to that? No, I don't know. I'm just asking. Like you have these elements of the 5 elements. So the doshas, like the kaf, the pit, and vad, is it somehow related to?
I think so. They're related. Only that aspect has not been brought up here in Tattva Bodha. But if you go to the basis of Ayurveda, the Ayurveda also, they start with saying the body is made up of these 5 elements. And
Yeah.
therefore, any imbalance in the body, you go back to the 5 elements to rectify it.
Like one half is made of one particular, like if the sky is this the space is half and other 4 elements, the predominant would be that, and the other 4 would be 1/8. So that particular individual will have that type of pravrti. It was just
Yeah, it's pretty much equally divided. It is equal only, right? When one half is one part, one of the element, and then 1/8 of the other elements. That goes all 5 places. So, if it normally speaking, everybody should have the same amount of everything.
See,
no,
I think,
but
Satji, I get your question. Here in the Panchikaranam that is being described in Tattva Bodha, They have only stopped at the level of the Panchamahabhutas, the gross Panchamahabhutas. They've stopped it at that. They've not
Yeah.
gone beyond that. So probably if we can do a little bit of study, maybe we'll get some more information about how the gross body is formed, how a physical body is formed. They
Yes.
have
But then that there's an imbalance happened, that's how you get the dosha, right? I mean, you are not born with it, that kind of
no
dosha.
dosha is there irrespective, just like how we are made up of the three gunas. Each of us is made of the three doshas. That is our prakriti. If there is an imbalance between the two, that becomes a vikriti. So each of us is born. I think that is quite complex. From what I little remember from this Ayur Jagrati, is it is a combination of
24 elements total.
huh?
24 elements, 5 Panchamahabhutas, 3 gunas, and all that.
Huh.
Dosha has to be there when a person is born, right? He is
Correct.
born with some dosha.
It's also dependent on his vasanas, his previous vasanas, his
Previous
prarabdha karma,
sanskaras. Yeah.
samskaras, prarabdha. So probably that maybe we should do a little self-study, find out how the individual human body is formed.
Yeah.
That
Go to
will
the genetic.
explain how the doshas, how each of us has prakriti. Like your prakriti could be vata pitta, it could be predominantly kapha, it could be predominantly pitta, or it could be sama dosha. I'm told for all enlightened masters, they have sama dosha. All the doshas are in balance. And that is also the concept of health in Ayurveda. Sama dosha, samagni, there's a beautiful Sanskrit definition of health. Yeah, but that's a good perspective, Savitaji, which will only make us understand our own nature better. You know, why someone is prone to uh, getting angry very quickly, how someone is. Uh, so it all is a matter of the prakriti in each of us.
Yeah,
If
that's
the
the
pitta
nature.
prakriti, the
Yeah.
fire element is higher, that will only help us understand our own nature, our health, and how we can rectify it. Yeah. Maybe if you could do a little bit of, if you're keen on that, if you could check out how the human body is formed from with the three doshas, how they are influence. That will be good.
Once I was sitting with Rishi Vidyadharji in the ashram, and he was saying that you need to check your nadi repeatedly throughout the year, because as there is a climatic change, that could also affect your prakriti. So every 3 months, every 6 months, you should get your nadi done. That was what he had told at that time. So even the climatic change has a effect on our prakriti. So if you have Vatpit, you may not be just Vatpit, something else could also come up. Your
Yeah,
prakriti
see,
changes.
very right, isn't it, Persiji? When you look at the whole, see, we are governed by, we are made up of the 5 elements. So any changes in the elements outside, there will be those subtle changes even within us. For instance, when it is very hot, when the weather outside is very hot, your pitta also increases, and um, a person tends to become very irritable. So that the
Even
effect of
So I think the
even
mind also comes into the picture here in changing our prakriti. All the 24 things that go to make the whole body, the mana, the state of the mind releasing chemicals, the hormonal changes, secretion either higher or lower level, like say adrenaline, the adrenaline rush. We are so much into mobiles now that
Mm.
it is liberated quite in a bigger quantity than normal. So that way also the imbalances would take place.
Food intake is the plays a great role in you can say in respective of this doshas. Jaisa an vaisa man, and food intake plays a great role for this balance of doshas. That is in Ayurveda.
Uh, Food, breath, mind, I think all play a role.
Yeah. If you remember, Gurudev had given a knowledge sheet on the state of our mind is dependent on so many factors. I think some 5 factors he had mentioned, right? One is, of course, the food, the environment that
Yeah.
you are in. Um, there were
Change of
3
place. When you
change of,
go to a hotel room, you may not get sleep at night.
right.
You're restless. 5 types of restlessness is a process we do in the advanced course.
Uh,
And also the sleep and the weather conditions also can affect you.
At the same time, I have taken meditation when schools are closed in their assembly rooms for senior for our part one courses. And there, like because of the children's energy, meditation is not that good for the people. The energy remains what I that is that Ratsik energy. There is so much of activity in children, they are hyper full time playing around. In their assembly room, when you take meditation, is not as deep as maybe in say when you do it in VM. Of course, I'm going to extremes, but like stay in your own room when you do it.
I just picked up this 5 factors that influence the mind, Guruji's knowledge. One is the place you are in, has a different impact on the mind. Even in your house, you can see that you feel different in different rooms.
Can't hear you, Dr. Brahmara.
I'm wanting to share this 1 second. I'll share the screen.
Oh, okay. So I was wondering, I thought I heard one.
No. I just wanted to screen broadcast. Just give me a second. I'll share the screen. You can see this, right?
Yes, we can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
can see.
the 5 factors that influence our mind is place, time, food, past impressions, associations, and actions. So every place you are in has a different impact on the mind. Even in your house, you can see that you feel different in different rooms. A place where there has been singing, chanting, and meditation has a different influence on the mind. Suppose you like a particular place. You may find that a little later it will not be the same. That is the place. Second, time is also a factor. Different times of the day and year have different influences on the mind. This could explain the effect of the seasons on the mind. Basically, it is the changes in the elements in the environment, which also have an influence on the elements within us. We are ultimately made of these 5 elements only, right? And then different types of food that you take influence you for some days. And then the past impressions, the karmas, have a different impact on the mind. Awareness, alertness, knowledge, and meditation all help erase the past impressions. And then associations and actions. People and events you are associated with do influence your mind. Your actions and associations affect your mind. In certain company, your mind behaves in one particular way and with others in a different way. So the question is, should we worry about them? Gurudev answers, no need to be paranoid about it, just know them. Though these 5 factors influence the life and the mind, know that the self is much more powerful. As you grow in knowledge, you will influence them all. Realize your mind's highest potential with mind matters. Okay. That is a 5-part facilitator program. So, this is so in sync with what we've learned right now in Tattva Bodh that can I stop share? Stop share. Yeah. So the self, which is Brahman or the Atma, is much more powerful than all these the influences that can influence mind. That is place, time, food, and your actions and associations.
Past karma and the association.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So when you look at it in the context of Tattva Bodh and the 5 elements and the Panchikaranam and the doshas and everything, that is why Gurudev says any problem, when you look at yourself as bigger than the problem seems very insignificant. And you are bigger than the problem. So when we come from that space of Tattvamasi or Aham Brahmasmi, then all these seem very frivolous. They don't affect you. But as a sadhak, it is important for us to know that these can influence us and we pay attention to them so that we continue to be steadfast on the path and don't slip away from the path. Because the company you keep is important. So that is why when you're in satsang, you're in a very sattvic state, frame of mind. Whereas when you're talking negative about someone, you're gossiping about negatively, of course, it will affect your energy levels. Same with the food we eat. Karmas, of course, we can't do much, but of course, like what Gurudev said, the effect can be taken care of by meditation practices. Yeah, good. Yeah, someone had written something. Saralaji, you mentioned Mandala course, Doctor shares one stotra.
Yeah, he's how the Prakriti has started and how they divided That's one stotra he has always he play in his courses, but I'm not remembering that name. I will find out and tell.
Yeah.
ब्रह्मांड कैसे पैदा हो
What
उसका
I
वो
find,
बताते हैं.
huh?
Hello.
Yes,
He
go
has
ahead.
some very beautiful stotra. He always play how the Prakriti has started. प्रकृति कैसे तैयार मीन्स शुरू हुआ या प्रकृति कैसे जन उसके बारे में था वो एक ब्रह्मांड के बारे में एक स्तोत्र है.
You mean from the
Vibrational.
Rigveda? From the Rigveda.
Yeah.
It's called the, what is that? I'm not getting the name right now. Yeah, I know. I know.
Me
What you
too.
mean.
We'll find out.
Yeah. So does anybody else want to share anything? So when you look at this, there is so much of unifying of all aspects of knowledge, no? Tattva, bodha, Bhagavad Gita, and basically it is like everything is reaching the same one end point. What Guruji
Yes,
said.
and it is now making, I mean, why Nanaji was saying that only Kitappa, like Brahmashra, this Maya, we have to pray, worship with a request that you just take us away from your influence so that we can realize the self. So it is so clear now why that he's saying that only me.
Yeah. That is what I feel, when people go to Gurudev with all their little petty problems and desires and issues and all that, how he must be feeling, no? He's seeing the world from a totally different angle, different aspect. And how when people go with all these little issues, he must be feeling how when will they come out of this? The anguish that he must be feeling. The compassion that he must be feeling. And that is what I felt when, that UNESCO thing about World Heritage and the Chandi Homa. There was so much of concern, anguish in his face. When is the world going to realize? And then we
It
get
reminded me of even Swami Vivekananda. He had Bhagavati Darshan. He had 3 times, I think, and every time Ramakrishna Paramhans said that you asked because he was going through so many personal problems. He had so many problems, but he said none of them came when he saw the Sakshat Ma Bhagavati. So he could not ask for anything worldly.
Is there anything else anyone wants to share regarding Tattva Bodh? If not, I thought we'll touch upon or we'll go back to chapter 17 a bit, at least 15 minutes. Because we have little bits here and there. We'll have to come back to chapter 3. But since we are, I think, midway, I'm not sure how many verses we've done in chapter 17. Dr. Mara, do you remember how many we have done?
I think fifth or
5
sixth
or 6,
was,
right?
yeah, fifth, sixth.
I'll just have to download that. I'll just open that up. Did we stop at 7 or 6?
Jai Gurudev, we have to start from that Katvamla, Lavana. Yeah, Jai Gurudev.
So we finished 7 also then. Ayu Sattva Balarogyam Sukha Priti Vivartana Rasya Snigdha Sthira Hridya Ahara Satvika Priya. This is fine. This is finished. From verse 9, right? So shall I just go back to verse 8 so that we are in sync with food? I think this is what he's talking about, food. Sheilaji, you want to chant this shloka? Sheilaji, I think you are muted. You may have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I think I may not be because there's so much of disturbances around me.
Bela, you want to chant this shloka?
Yeah, okay. Oh.
Yeah.
आयुः सत्त्वबलारोग्य सुखप्रीतिविवर्धनाः रस्याः स्निग्धाः स्थिरा हृद्या आहारा सात्विकप्रियाः आयु सत्त्वबलारोग्य सुखप्रीतिविवर्धनाः. Those which increase longevity, mental clarity, strength, health, pleasure in taste, aesthetic pleasure, rasyaha, succulent, snigdhaha, oily, sthiraha, fortifying, ridyaha, pleasing to the heart, aharaha are the foods, satvika priyaha, that are loved by the satvika people. Succulent, oily, fortifying and pleasing foods which increase longevity, mental clarity, strength, health, pleasure in taste and aesthetic pleasure are loved by satvika people. Ayu is the duration of life, longevity. Sattva is the development of your mind. If you take too much coffee or sugar, you find that it is difficult to have steadiness of mind. Chitta ekagrata. So it is clear that food does affect the mind. Whatever you ingest that contributes to your steadiness of mind, tranquility, and capacity to think is what is meant here by food that is sattva. Food can also give you strength, bala. And there are things that you eat which are purely healthy, arogya. Then it should also be tasty. It should give you some pleasure, sukha, and it should be aesthetically pleasing. Priti Vivardhana. Even if you look at some food, it spoils your appetite, though it may be very good for you. Thus, the food that enhances all these is liked by those whose disposition is predominantly sattva, that is, it is sattvika priya. Again, the food that is eaten is divided according to its nature. Some food is rasya, succulent, juicy. Some are snigdha, creamy, oily. And some are sthira, that is, they remain for a long time in the body, like that meant for building bones, etc. All these varieties of food should be pleasing to your mind, Hridya. The presentation of the food, how it looks, is very important because the very sight of the food should please you. These are the foods which are considered desirable by Sattvika people. That is, these are Sattvika Priya Aharas.
What how Bela cooks is Satvika. You know, Bela, it's on the lighter note, but it's true actually. Bela is such a wonderful cook. Not only does she cook very tasty food, it is also healthy, and the way she presents it is beautiful. So,
All because of your company, I have learned, Brahmaraj.
no,
We
yeah,
did all
no, no.
Ayurveda cooking and together, no? So it's
I-
all because of everything I attribute to your company, Brahmaraji.
No, no, no. It is not. See, but it's a known fact that all Gujaratis are wonderful cooks. That is a known fact, no? And so I hold Bela's cooking as highest in the list of Satvika thing. Very good. Yeah. So it is so important, no? See, there are so many aspects. We think it is only food high in prana. It's not just about food high in prana. It is also how it is presented, how it is, whether it is succulent. Therefore, all the vegetables and fruits, they are succulent. So they get into this category. And it is not enough if it's healthy. It should also be presentable. It should stimulate the very sight and smell of food should stimulate your taste buds. It should stimulate the saliva secretion of enzymes. So then automatically it will help in digestion. And all these are so important aspects, the presentation of food and how fresh it is, sthira, snigdha, and yeah. Then what is Rajasika Ahara that is mentioned in the next verse? Okay, I will just lift it up. You can chart this. Yeah. Go ahead, Bela.
Yeah. Then what is Rajasika Ahara that is mentioned in the next verse? Katu Amla Lavanatyu Atyushna Tikshna Ruksha Vidahina. Ahara Rajasa Sieshta Dukha Shoka Maya Pradaha. Katu Amla Lavana Ati Ushna Tikshna Ruksha Vidahina. Those which are very bitter, very sour, very salty, very hot, very pungent, astringent, and causing inflammation. Dukkha, shoka, amaya, pradaha. that give pain, sorrow, and ill health. Aharaha, foods, rajasasya, ishtaha, that are highly desired by rajasic people. Food which are very bitter, sour, salty, hot, pungent, astringent, and burning, that give pain, sorrow, and ill health, are highly desired by rajasic people. Shankara says that the prefix ati, which intensifies the meaning of the word to which it is added, should be applied to all the words in the compound katu, amla, lavana, ushna, tikshna, ruksha, vidahi. This has to be said because all these things are necessary for all for good health and even prescribed in Ayurveda, but they have to be used in moderation. But a Rajasic person goes to the extreme with these. What is said here is that they are to be avoided in the extreme. Ati Katu is what is highly bitter, and Ati Amla is very sour, like yogurt that is 15 days old. Ati Lavana is excessively. Ati Lavana is excessively salty, and Ati Ushna is so hot you cannot touch it without burning your tongue or shedding tears, like red chilies or jalapeno peppers. Food that is Ati Tikshna is excessively pungent, and Ati Ruksha is very astringent. Any burning food that causes inflammation is Vidahi. That is all food that is highly desired by Rajasic people. Rajasasya ishtaha. And these give pain, sorrow, and ill health. Dukkha, shoka, amaya pradaha. In spite of that, they love to eat that food.
I think all these Vidahi is all the food that causes inflammation. I'm not sure whether all these packaged food, those that have all these preservatives and all those added, those are included in that. I'm just reminded of Rajima in her one of her lectures. She talks about people wanting to eat mirchi bhaji. She says, in spite of it being hot, they continue to eat mirchi bhaji because it gives them that pleasure. And she likens that to the the Kurukshetras each one of us creates for ourselves. We create our own field of activity and we continue to, live in that. When someone else wants to say, hey, listen, this is not good for your health, you will say, no, this is what I enjoy, and you continue living in that. It could be your situations, your relationships, your concepts in your mind. So, yeah, that was a little deviant, but I just remembered that.
Yes.
Brahmana Didi, could you please repeat? My net was not working, what you just said.
No, I was just remembering Rajima's Mirchi Bhaji example. In I think in her introduction to Gita, she had mentioned there are people who love to eat Mirchi Bhaji. They are eating it with tears rolling down their eyes. There's heat coming out of their ears. The face becomes all very hot. But in spite of that, they continue to eat Mirchi Bhaji. Why? Because they have that craving and that they like it. They enjoy it. So this was gross on the literal level. It's just the food and the mirchi bhaji. But the literal meaning, the the implied meaning of that is each of us develops our own, our own, creates our own situations, relationships, our own concepts, and we hold on to that. We are going through difficulty, pain, and someone wants to help you. They say, come out. Through knowledge, you can come out of this. But we hold on to that. In spite of it giving us dukkha and shoka and ill health, we continue to hold on to that because we derive some pleasure from that. So I just remembered that analogy that she had given. I know it is a little deviant, but it came to my mind, so I thought I'll share it.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So then there is a third type of food, the food that is desired by the tamasika people. Should we do the tamasika also and then close the thing so that at least the food part is taken care of? Bella, you want to continue?
Yeah, okay.
You're okay, right? There's no problem for you. We're reading the text.
Yeah, no problem, Ramaraji. My class is there, but it is at 9.
Okay. We'll just wind up this verse 10 and then we'll close the Manana.
Yeah. Then there is a third type of food, the food that is desired by the tamasic people. Bhagwan enumerates them in the next verse. Yatayamam gatarasam puti paryushitam chayat uchishtam chamedyam bhojanam tamasa priyam. Yatayamam, that which is 3 hours old or inadequately cooked. Gatarasam, that from which the essence has gone. Puti, putrid. Paryushitam, day old, a pitcher, and also uchishtam, leavings, cha, yata, and which, amedhyam, unfit as an offering. Bhojanam, the food. Tamasa priyam, that is beloved to a tamasic person. Food which is old or inadequately cooked, from which the essence has gone, which is putrid, day old, leavings, and also unfit as an offering, is beloved to a tamasic person. The word yatta yama qualifies the food, and it means the food for which one yama has passed. One yama consists of about 4 muhurtas, 48-minute periods, totally amounting to about 3 hours. When there was no refrigeration, cooked food that had been standing for 3 hours in a tropical climate would be teeming with bacteria and is therefore unfit for consumption. Shankara says the word can also mean mandapakwa, inadequately cooked, because the next word gatarasam covers stale food. Here the word yama will mean the prescribed length of time for which the food has to be cooked, and that is not observed. Therefore, the food is called yatayama. Food that is gatarasa has lost the taste, essence it once had, and therefore its nutritive value. And usually the stale food has lost all its nutritive value. But even though not stale, white rice is useless. It is gatarasa because its capacity to nourish is gone in the process of polishing it has undergone. Putti is foul smelling, and paryusita, Shankara says, is cooked food that has been kept overnight, yesterday's leftovers. It includes all fermented things which are sometimes used as medicine, as kashaya, but are not good for you as food. Uchishtam means what is left over after somebody else has eaten. If the food you eat is such leavings, it is uchishta. Then amedhya means food that has not been or cannot be offered to the Lord. Food bhojana of this sort is beloved to a tamasic person. Tamasa priyam. From this, do not conclude that because somebody is eating food of this sort, he must be tamasika. It is not like that. It can be just a habit. These tamasic foods are mentioned here so that you can avoid them.
So that is what one of the Ayurvedic doctors had said. Even food, cooked food also has an expiry date. We only look at expiry dates of, things that we buy, medicines and everything. But cooked food also has an expiry date. And we need to honor our body. Honoring our body is by feeding it nutritious food which is healthy. And this yata yama, this yama is one muhurtam, is not one muhurtam, 4 muhurtams, right? That is what Swamiji mentioned. Each muhurtam is about 48 minutes. So 48 into 4, which will roughly come to 3 hours. So what we were taught was 6 hours, but here the Bhagwan says 3 hours. So which means you have to cook fresh. Your breakfast has to be fresh, lunch has to be fresh, dinner has to be fresh. And it is 3 hours. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, Yukta Hara Viharasya, no? In one of the chapter shloka, Bhagavan said, no, everything in moderation.
Moderation.
Even the taste wise.
See, leftovers also. Of course, see, I don't know whether we can, with the modern day refrigeration, whether we can consider food that is refrigerated also as tamasic. Ideally not. This is what we do in the ashram. We have everything is freshly done, freshly cooked. No one is served stale food that is left over from lunch. They don't serve for dinner. So I think the bottom line benchmark here is the food that you are eating, is it eligible for you to offer it to the God? If it is not, then you don't eat it too. So we may have to downsize our quantity of cooking that we do so that we do not have leftovers. That is one. I remember one of my close friends, family friends, with whom my father had stayed when we were in Bangalore and he was here in Hyderabad. That auntie, Asha auntie, she would cook only enough for that meal. And whatever is cooked, she had to finish it. That is it. The vessels have to be empty. Nothing goes into the refrigerator. She practices that even till now. And I'm really inspired by her. We've not been able to do that, of course, thanks to our lifestyle, but that is something that is possible. It is certainly possible. And I think if we can bring that into practice, even chutneys that we do, if we can finish it for that period, those 3-hour period, that will be good. That will be a good goal for us to reach. No? Yeah. So should we stop here today? Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
Dhanyavad. Jai Gurudev Brahmanaji.
Thank you.